what you were doing because we had the time of our lives. It was so interesting and so much fun. So I can only imagine how these races will pan out because obviously these guys have a lot of practice, a lot of experience. Maybe some of them maybe have also raced in real life. You never know. They have a lot of experience. So I'm really excited to watch this race. And there's one person who has stood out in every single race, and his name is Davlish Singh, who is very fast in this category.
No, no, absolutely. He's the flying sick here, I would say. He's the flying sick of the race course. And yes, we have Davlish Singh, but Davlish Singh is not like won't have the cup very easy to him because there are more competitors who have also been on the best form as they can and who have practiced a lot and are right here to prove their medals.
Absolutely right. Right now, we are having a free practice session where the drivers can just get a feel of the car and their setups, which is just a minute away, a couple of minutes, and after that will be time for qualifying. And in the previous qualifying, we saw the fastest time of 2 minutes 15 seconds flat by it was Arav Kapadia, if I'm not wrong. It was him who set the fastest time. I'm excited to see what these guys have in store for us.
Well, Arab Kapadia left the time of 2:16 to beat. And now these guys also have that thing hovering right over them, beat that. But these guys are in the leagues of their own. And right now in the practice session, they all feel very relaxed. There is no hurry going on in the racetracks, and they are just going with the flow. And that's very important to just calm down before the race because the race is going to be pretty damn exciting for sure.
You are absolutely right. And if you are a friend or a family member of any racing driver right now racing, let me tell you that you are in for some crazy battles and just sit back and relax and enjoy because believe me, the junior races were one of the best races I've ever seen in my life, particularly the battling between P1 and P2 right till the finish line. It
And
was something out of this world.
also kudos to Virtual Racing Hub for choosing this track because this track is the most entertaining of all. I feel starting from the first corner itself. Yes, it's one of the most legendary tracks, it's one of the most famous tracks as well, and it is all of them because of a reason. Because as we saw in the previous both the races, in the first corner itself, there were pretty big crashes. People who had held their position of P2, P3 also were left behind because of the crashes. And yes, it's a little bit about luck, but mostly it's about the skills.
Right? This track is favors the brave, and if you are a little bit too much brave, it is also a very treacherous track. As beautiful as it may look, as it's nestled in the forests of the Belgium, in the hills of Belgium, but it is treacherous as well. And proof of that is that we saw so many crashes in the last race. It was everything was happening on every single part of the track. I think no one had the cleanest of races, but I think that's a part of racing. And how you manage your race through all that chaos is the difference between a great driver and a champion
No, no,
driver.
the highlight of the previous race has to be the battle between Arab Kapadia and Krishay Kote, which Arab won, but Krishay gave an extremely tight battle to him, not making it easy for him to lift the cup. And I guess that's the moments we are living for here. That's why we are commenting. That's why the people who are watching, and that's why the drivers are driving because these things matter. And especially in an up and coming sport like esports racing, these things are just going to be wild.
Absolutely. You said you were talking about the choice of track. What about the choice of car? What an amazing sounding, what a beautiful looking car. The BMW Z4 GT3 with a naturally aspirated 4.4-liter V8 straight from the M3. Amazing. Just look at the size of that wing, just look at the front splitter, just look at the roll cage, and a proper race car that.
Especially with the liveries on and the black color, they look even more prettier. And the good thing about this event is that all of them have the same cars with the same capacity,
Yes.
same power, same everything. So it all comes down to the grit and the skills of the drivers.
Absolutely right. That's what I love about it. That everyone has the same machinery. It's all up to the drivers.
And
And now I think the practice session is over, and in a very short time we'll jump into qualifying. So if you are new to motorsports, qualifying is basically you get to set the fastest lap time which you can, and based on your lap time you are given a grid position. For example, if you set the fastest lap time, you are P1. If you set the second fastest lap time, you are P2 on the grid. And track position on this kind of track matters a lot, like we have seen in the previous races, because turn one is always chaos. There's always something or the other going to happen because it's the happen. So you have to be right at the front, if you ask me, to just escape from all of that, or right at the back to just watch everything unfold and take those laps.
that's right, that's right. But a lot of times the people in the middle get sandwiched, and that's what I'll agree. But then again, the first corner is all about patience. It's about taking things slow. And now we are getting on with the qualification round. It'll be very interesting to see. I mean, right now we can see some of the times set by the players in the previous round. So as Ashfaq did 2:16, which is very closer to what Arav from the previous round set up.
And that's only in practice.
That's only in practice. That's right. That was what I was coming to. And now is when now it's the time for the players to shine. This is going to be very important for the position at which they're going to be standing on the grid. And just in a few minutes, we are going to be starting with the qualifying. I think there is some problem with Varsha Chadda's internet. She has been disconnected for at least now. I'm sorry, Vansh Chadda has been facing some problems with the connection. I hope he's back now.
And talking about the championship, oh, we are underway. Qualifying is underway, and who other than Davli Singh to just head out on the track, showing how confident he is, and showing that even if I'm the first one, even if I don't have any slipstream, I can put down the fastest time, no problem.
No, absolutely. That's what experience says about him. The confidence that he shows always on the sim races that he does. And but I'm pretty sure he's going to be facing some extremely tough competition. It's not going to be easy for Devlin Singh as well. And A Avasti right behind him, followed by M Puri and S Ashfaq.
Right now, everyone is on their outlap, and that's an unfortunate spin. You don't want so much heat into the tires. You just want the perfect amount. So he might need to just cool down his tires before he starts his hot lap. But right now, all of them are heading out in the on the same time because they know that they need to take the help of some slipstream. And just for some context, Divij, P1 is locked out more or less by the Vlish Singh. But the battle for P2 is between Manupuri, Sai Prithvi Sudhakar, and Neil Basu. So there are three people battling for P2, and this is the final ever round. They have been racing at Monza, they have been racing at Silverstone, they have been racing at Nürburgring, and now finally at Spa. How important do you think is this final race?
No, absolutely. I think for at least today, this is one of the biggest things that they'll be looking forward to. All of these players are not normal people who are just playing games here. We both, Abhay and I, have been playing on the sim for quite a while now, and we know how tough it is. Every pressure on the accelerator can lead to a different outcome. Every press on the brake can lead to a different outcome. You have to keep 100 things going on in your mind: the tire temperatures, the weather out there, what condition the car is in, if it's supporting you or not. There are no mechanical glitches in the simulator. So a lot of these things matter, and it takes hours and hours of practice to be this good. It's no easy game we are looking at. This is no PS5 normal game. This is proper action and sportsmanship we are talking about.
You are absolutely right, Divij. This is the PC one. The PS version was on Saturday, if I'm not wrong. But all of these guys have a PC setup, and to ensure that the playing field is level. And yeah, quite a few people have put down their times, and as expected, Davli Singh has come up with a time of 2:15.2, which is not the best time we have seen, Divij, because we saw Arav Kapadia set up a best time of 2:15 flat in the previous round. I'm pretty sure the Singh was just holding it back, just saving some time for the last few laps.
For now on, when the okay, Safan Ashfaq was looking like he's drifting, but he's actually not. He has gone off the tracks. Well, he's getting back on it for sure. He's waiting for the cars to pause, waiting for the right time to take them over, and he's back on the tracks again. And of course, lovely Singh with those tires, with those very new tires, and the first lap itself has set up a time lapse of 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And now, when his tires have finally worn and when he's ready for action, the next time laps are going to be very interesting to see how lower
Absolutely
can he
right.
go.
Absolutely right. Because Safwan Ashfaq just about had a moment during that turn. He controlled that drift. But again, the tire temps matter. They are basically everything if you are a racing driver. And that was an unfortunate moment. But we jump on board with Arnav Awasthi, who has set a lap time of 221.7, which is very suboptimal. But right now, I'm pretty sure he must be improving. He goes to the double left-hander and it looks like as if he's pushing the car up to its limit because he knows he's got a fresh set of tires. He knows that he's got very low fuel in his tank and he knows that he can push to the limit of this car.
So, Abe, while you were talking about the fuel thing, I had a question in my mind. What do you think? How much does the quantity of fuel in your car matter while driving?
I think it is everything. And before I answer that, Arnav Awasthi is taking the checkered flag. Let's see what his timings are. And he crosses the finish line with a time of 2:16.8, not far away from Davlish, is
No,
it?
that's absolutely wild. But you'll also have to see that Davleen Singh has also set up a new time, well in the 2:15 range only, but he has dropped a few seconds.
Absolutely right. I did not notice that, but Davlish Singh has put on a time of 2:15 flat, while P2 and P3 are as close to each other as they can be because Manupuri and Arnav Avasti, if I'm not wrong, yes, Manupuri and Arnav Avasti are just thousands of a second apart from each other, and there is still, I think, a couple of laps still to go before qualifying ends. But answering, coming back to your question, I think your fuel level is everything because the lesser fuel you have, the more straight line speed you can carry, the lesser the weight there is for the car to carry. So yes, I think it matters a lot, and it comes with practice. Ask any one of these racers, and they'll tell you that you need 5 liters to complete these many laps. You need 10 liters to complete X number of laps. So these guys know every single detail of the setup of the car.
No, no, absolutely. And I feel Manu Puri and Arnav Avasti and all the other guys are not just aiming for P3 here. I think they're aiming for the lean thing right there. I think they're going to be pushing the car as much as they can. And the Vlees Singh also looks pretty calm right now, not in very hurry and feels in his comfort zone. And right now he's doing 215 almost in his comfort zone. He's not pushing. And there is Manu Puri going off the tracks and back in the pit stops.
Tavleet Singh has put unbelievable lap time, a 2:15 flat, which I cannot imagine someone can do, but he has done it. He's P1 as it was expected, but there might be a few surprises, which it's not fair for to other drivers that we just write them off because this is a level playing field. Everyone has the same cars. Everyone is more or less on the same level because these are experienced racing drivers and they have qualified into the top 22 among hundreds of people, and they have done that qualifying in this same very track at Spa right at the start of this month in March. So they are again revisiting this track, and all of these guys know this track like the back of their hand. So very interesting to see who comes out in P1. But for now, it's looking like it is Davli Singh's day.
No, no, absolutely. And looking forward to the race that's going to be coming up ahead. And Empuri is looking really strong right now. He's following all the lines. And, at this particular stage, people might think a lot of things are not going on behind, but even a mosquito can actually change the fate of the game. That's how close the line is. That's how close the thread is.
Absolutely. Just look at the splits. Just look at how close P1 to P4 are. I mean, of course, Davli Singh is on a different he's in a different league because he's 1.6 seconds ahead of them. But P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P7, P8, everyone are so close to each other. And you know what? It's going to be anyone's game to come to P2. I think Davlish Singh has put on a very good lap time, and I think it remains to be seen who comes to P2. That's the battle which is kind of brewing right now, but anyone can even grab the top spot of P1.
Up until then, why don't you explain us about the curves of this track?
So I think we are on board with Manupuri, and talking about the track, we approach the first hairpin corner of this track, which is a heavy braking zone, and then you approach a straight which leads you to one of the most beautiful corners of the track of any track in the world. You go down the hill through a rouge and then up the hill through Radion, and the elevation changes are just something which these cars should not take flat out, but they do. Then you approach the Camel Straight. This is a very good overtaking opportunity, and then you slam on the brakes for the Lecom section, which is kind of like a chicane, but not as tight as a chicane, but it's a right and a left. Then you enter another corner, which is called the Brussels corner, and it is like a hairpin, but it is a very gradual downhill hairpin. So you need to just don't slam on your brakes. Just be gradual with it. Carry as much minimum speed through the corner, and then you approach the double left-hander. That's a beautiful camera angle for us as we follow Manupuri through his entire lap as he's fighting for every tenth of a second. This is the second left-hander, and then this was the campus section of the track. Then we enter the corner number 15, then corner number 16, and then off you go to another straight. Manupuri is looking really very fiery in that car, and this is a really very important section of the track because this exit speed matters because now you're approaching one of the longest straight of the track, and your this speed matters because now this is this straight. Now you approach the corner of Blanchimont, which is again flat out. You take a slight left as he is doing, hug the apex, go in a straight line, and then slam on the brakes. As soon as you see the 50 meters, 70 meters mark, this is the final chicane. Take some of the curbs, ensure that you are taking the perfect line, and slam on the accelerator to take the checkered flag. One of the most beautiful tracks on the F1 calendar, and this guy has put down a lap time of 2:16.2. Manupuri, you are P2 for now, but I would like you to take P1 because W Singh is sitting comfortably at the top.
No, no, but even the lap that you watched of Empori right now was an absolutely beautiful lap. He followed all the lines that he could. And this just goes to show how fast the beast thing actually is. I mean, looking at Manupuri's lap, there were no real complaints or errors as such. And there's the beast thing even pushing ahead. But I'm pretty sure Manupuri doesn't want to get left behind, and he doesn't want to get left behind, and he's just pushing hard, hard, and hard.
You are absolutely right. As we approach the final 3 minutes of this qualifying session, and we are on board with Neil Basu, who is currently sitting in P5. But I'm sure that he must be focusing every single cell of his body to shave off those final tenths because this is the final round of this season. So these points, every single point matters, and these guys know it. These guys know that this is all or nothing, and they are going to give their best as we get a beautiful camera angle of the root section of this track.
No, I hope SR Rajkumar is also listening to us with the timing of 2:33 seconds. Sure, he has more time than the rest of the grid, but still, he has to push a lot right now.
You are absolutely right. As we jump on board with Neil Basu, getting his breaking points right, just hugging those corners, staying in the middle, then not going too much on the left, just staying in the middle of the track because this will lead into a long section and then a slight tap on the brakes, go towards the right side. Just look at those colors of the brakes. They must be
Arun,
just slamming on them.
absolutely. I mean, Neil Basu, although following all the lines, looks very calm and composed right now. He
Yes, yes.
doesn't look like he's in a lot of hurry to put better timings. I think he's probably just waiting for the race to start. He's probably gonna find some good gaps. Oh, he
That
had
is.
a little bit of traction issue, but he has the car in full control right now.
Yeah, he was just trying to be on the accelerator as fast as possible, but it was a little bit too soon. Had a moment, but I don't think that was that much of a loss of time. But let's see whether he can improve because the field is very close to each other. It's very tight. Every tenth of a second, every single tenth of a second.
Abhijit Singh has just put a new time of
Oh,
2:14.933, which is absolutely violent. I told you this guy is gonna break his record, and he just has. Do you think he can set up one more lap with even lesser timings?
I am at a loss of words because in my entire life I've never gone sub 220 in Spa. So in this very car. So I don't know how he's managing to shave off 6, 7 seconds, like 240. He's going sub 215, which is crazy. But on board with Neil Basu, and let's see whether he can improve his lap times. He was P5 and he is still P5 with the same timing.
Well, fifth position is also not a bad spot to start the race, and especially with the first corner like that, positions do matter, but they don't matter as much as they should. So P5 is also a pretty good place to start.
There's 30 minutes remaining for the qualifying, and a lot of cars still on the track because they know that it is now or never. If I don't go out on the track, I won't get time. So they are going to give it their all. It's a very fine line between pushing the car and pushing the car.
That's right.
You, if you are way over the limit, you obviously crash. But if you're under the limit, then of course it won't make sense to just be at the sweet spot. As we jump on board with Ayush Dua, who is right now in P13, he has done a lap time of 218.4, which I would have been very proud of. But remember, this is the Indian National EGT3 racing, meaning that these are the top sim racing drivers in the world. So 218.4, sorry, that does not make the cut. And Ayush Dua knows it. He knows it, and that's why he's pushing it in every single corner of the track. Look at how much of the curb he's using. Look at how he's placing the car and using the whole width of the track as we jump on board in the interior of the camera.
No, no, absolutely. Ayush Dua is not just here to participate, he's just pushing itself. And I think these are the things that matter. Yes, wins and loses keep happening, but you pushing yourself at every opportunity you get is the way to go. And Ayush Dua is doing exactly that. He takes this corner a little slow, not very fast, and now he pushes on the accelerator. This might be his last time to set up a new, better time for himself, and he does. The lap was looking absolutely glorious, and he's put a new time of 2:18, pushing himself 2 positions up the grid.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. Every single tenth of a second matters. So it is worth it. Even if you make a mistake, it's okay. Just complete the lap. You never know. You might have gained a thousandth of a second. And I think that's what it was. Ayush Dua jumps up to P11 with a 218 flat timings, and it is checkered flag. The V Singh is taking pole in the sprint race, which is a 15-minute race to the finish line with a time of 2:14.933.
And Manupuri is not behind the V
Yes.
Singh at all. I mean, yes, 1.2 seconds might sound less to a few, but on race track they do matter a lot. But still, he's not very far of him. He still has an opportunity to grab Davli Singh and might just take the first spot.
You're absolutely right. P2 Manupuri with 216.2, just a few hundreds behind of him. P3 Arnav Awasthi, just another few hundreds of him is Safwan Ashfaq with 216.925. In P5, we have Neil Basu, and that was the whole table right there in front of you to see what the standings are. But a beautiful qualifying, and now we get ready for the race. And this is the final sprint race of the open category. They know what's at stake. Under which, let me ask you some question. That we saw all the both the races of the junior category. Does starting in P1 matter that much on this track, or does, or even if you're starting in midfield, do you have the same amount of chance of finishing in P1?
See, in a sprint race, especially in a corner like this, Yes, first position matters because as soon as you can get off the other people, as soon as you can get off that hairpin thing and get on to your tempo that you have for the race, it might just make all the difference. But then again, it's something and it's not everything. You might just crash in the first corner. Who knows? You might have a car coming from behind who just doesn't let you follow the lines, who just takes you over. So it's all about what's the best that you can do.
Yeah, absolutely right. Because turn one is always chaos, it's always fireworks, and there's always something happening. So, if you are tuning in just now, welcome to the final round of the Indian National Esports GT3 Racing Championship at Spa. And this is the sprint race of the open category 18 plus, and these are all very experienced drivers and the top sim racing drivers in India as we prepare to go racing for the final round at Spa. And turn one, lap one is going to be something else.
And the six red lights are here beeping one by one. And just in a few seconds, we are going to be starting off with the race. And everybody who's watching is probably stick to their TVs or laptops or whatever and waiting to see what happens in the first corner. And the lights goes out, and all the players have their foot on the accelerator, probably on the brakes very soon with this hairpin corner. And we can. Well, it was a pretty calm and composed first corner, no major crashes. It was very impressive to see the maturity that all of these players have showed. They know this thing is no joke. They all are professional people. They know how to race.
That
And
was a
there's
big crash, a big moment in the route section as everyone at the front of the field gets through harmless, but at the back, in the background, we saw something. There was a big crash, and I think it was between 3 to 4 people. There was a big spin on the route section, and that's what the tires which they are racing, they are cool tires. The fuel load is full, and the cars are heavy, the tires are cold, so they have to be extra cautious while battling for positions, and that's something which they had to keep in mind. Although the first corner was pretty clean, everyone showed great maturity, and I think that's what the difference is between the open and the junior category. The junior category, the racing was top quality, but in the open category, they know, they are aware that, hey, let's not go flat out in turn one of lap one. I'll get another chance. I'll get another chance. But there was a big moment in that route section with a lot of cars falling down the order.
un-
But for now, I'm so sorry, Divij, but for now, W Singh is leading with a gap of a massive 1.2 seconds, and that's just going down.
no, that's what I said since the start. Manupuri and all of the other guys are not here to just chill and probably settle for the P2 and later they are right here for P1. Yes, Davleesh Singh has a lot of uh, a lot of ammunition in his hands, but then again, all of these people are very serious. Yes, we couldn't see that crash properly, unfortunately, but definitely that had an effect on S. Rajkumar, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, absolutely right. Even Safwan Ashfaq, I remember he was not that low in qualifying. He was way up the grid, but because of that crash, that has compromised his race. But it's not race over for him because still it's a long way to go. More than 12 minutes on this track, and you know how long it is because anything can happen at any time. As we jump on board with Santosh Rajkumar, as he's tearing down the backs of P9 and P10, Karan Joseph, Sebastian, and Navneet Kumar, who are fighting for position while he's just waiting and waiting and waiting for his chance. And on board with Gautam Prenoj, who's in P6 in a fight with Neil Basu, but he knows he's mature enough. Going side by side through Aruj, through Radion, and
And
there
there's
it
the
is.
connect, and there's the Gotham Prenoge off of the tracks very fast. That's quite some damage, and he's just spinning, and he doesn't seem to be stopping soon. That was a very high profile crash right there, and that's what you were saying that Uruj is one corner that you shouldn't be going side by side. You should be taking over the control, and that's exactly what has happened. A high speed crash right there.
Rule number one of racing in Spa is never go side by side through a rouge, and that's what happened. And the slightest of touch, the slightest of bump can send you spinning, like we saw right now with Gotham. It was a very big crash, and we just hope that his car is okay and he'll be able to continue the race because still it's a long way. Arnav Awasthi is in P3 as we jump on board with him, staring at the back of Manupuri. His who is in P2, while Davli Singh has just taken off. He's on in a race of his own. He's just cruising in P1 with Manupuri 2.4 seconds behind him. But what a fiery start to this race. Starting from turn one, which was pretty much normal, everyone was calm and composed, but the Aruj and the Radiant section was the one where all hell broke loose. Everyone was crashing, and then again we had a crash with Gotham going side by side with Aruj, and that's what you need to just make sure that the race is long. The race is really very long. The track is long, so you just need to be sure that you are calm and composed. And as we jump on board with Arnav Avasti, he's very much in proximity with Manupuri, who is in P2. There's another batter. Just look at that car of Safwan Ashfaq, who suffered some damage in the in the starting laps. He's in P11, but there is a lot of damage on his car, which is visible to you.
Absolutely, and a damaged car is something that no player would want right now. And the more the car crashes, the more ability it loses, and it's just all about keeping everything perfect. Well, Gotham Pranoj have seems to be disconnected from the server.
Because of his crash. I think Divesh,
Yeah,
it was because of his crash. Because remember, it was him who was involved in that side by side through a route, and he might be thinking he might have a lot of damage on his car. He might be thinking there's no point in continuing, which is fair because you might have to save that energy for the long endurance race coming up after this. But for now, we jump on board with Navneet Kumar as we just have a look at the tires. And talking about the tires, just how important are they when you are racing?
oh no, absolutely, and I'm pretty sure you know better about it than me. Having proper warm tires is very important to have the grip on, to have the power to be on the wheels all the time, and so that you can just push the car when your wheels support you, and it's just one of the most important things to have.
Jump on board with Navneet Kumar in P8, and Karan Joseph just goes about just it appeared he was off the track, but you never know. He's in P7 and he's just feeling the pressure. Karan Joseph is feeling the pressure, while Navneet Kumar is just waiting for his time. That one corner he'll make a mistake, and he's so close to him as it's a three-car battle. Look anywhere and it's a battle. There's battles happening everywhere as the field is very close. Although W Singh has just taken off to the lead, the rest of the grid is fighting for position.
No, absolutely, I agree. The lead sync is 4 seconds ahead of the person who's next right behind him, and that's a very long gap to follow. And to be honest, it was something that we all saw coming, so no surprises here at all. While Manupuri is still taking the lead of rest of the grid here, and well, it was Gotham's decision to back out of the race. And yes, you were right to save himself for the endurance, but still would have been really lovely to see him get up the grid, maybe do his tricks, show his talent. But anyways, here we are at a very pinchy corner right here, and Safwan Ashfaq, who had suffered a lot of damage on his car, is still pushing out. He doesn't look like he's gonna give up anytime soon. He's just pushing the car, just trying to get as fast as possible. And there,
Through the hairpin at Lassos we go, but there's no way for Safwan Ashfaq as Santosh Rajkumar is defending beautifully. He knows his racing lines. He knows that Safwan Ashfaq is right at his tail, but he's placing the car at the perfect places. And what a beautiful onboard of Safwan Ashfaq's car. We go on board with him through the beautiful Aruj and Radiant section onto the Camel Straight, taking in the slipstream, and now it is the battle of who is the bravest on the brakes, who will get the car to stop the most at the furthest distance, and they are very close to each other, but no way for Safwan Ashfaq, who is still fighting with Santosh Rajkumar for that P9. It's a beautiful battle, and I think that at the end of this lap, we might see some fireworks between them, but still it continues, and a Dua, who is in P11, has joined this battle as well, and it's a three-way battle right now. So Ayush Dua can also collect the pieces if these two people come together,
I think it will be really nice to see if Adua can put
and I
up
think that's what is
Lewis
happening.
Hamilton.
And I
And yes, that's very close to that happening, but Safan Ashwaq is just not going to give up the position. He's here to win. He's not going to be leaving here anytime soon. He's just probably going to get up the grids. But that is the really amazing fight by Edua and S. Rajkumar.
You're absolutely right. On board with Neil Basu is very close to Vanch, who is in P4. And let's see, approaching Blanchimont, taking a slight left after this. He has got the overspeed. Neil Basu is taking in the slipstream onto the curbs. And now they are approaching the braking section of the bus stop chicane of this lap. And who breaks the latest? Neil Basu is comfortably in the lead. But now it is a drag race in the first corner of this lap, and no, he's just about falling short. But in this lap, he'll maybe catch up to me once Chatta.
There's still 5 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and a lot can happen each time. And I think it's the spirit shown by Neil Basu that he is just gonna be right behind him all the time. And as soon as he gets the chance, he's just gonna be overtaking. And there is Rouge coming once again. Let's see who can take more of speed here. Well, there is a point after the Rouge that you just have to brake uh, pretty fast, and that's when you realize how much trust do you have in your car.
Absolutely. The Aruj and the Radiant section, the more we talk about it, it will fall short because that series of corners is just about how brave you are, how much do you trust your car, how much do you trust your instincts, whether you should go flat out or whether your tires are not that ready enough to go flat out. It's all about instinct, and that's what makes this a track which is legendary, not only in Formula One but also in GT3 racing. There is the 24 hours of Spa, which many people, all motorsport fans, just love watching, and this is one track which just favors the brave.
No, absolutely. And looking at the top of the grid, yes, the Fleet Singh has just taken it up a notch. He's almost going to be touching 6 seconds ahead of Manu Puri. And then there is Ayavasti, who is also lagging a little behind Manu Puri, but that distance might just close
But
anytime
at
soon.
the back of the grid, we've got a battle. We've got a battle in our hands as Ayush Dua in P11 and Santosh Rajkumar are again going back at it because they were not done 2 laps earlier.
No, no, I think this race is just gonna get. And Ayush Dua just lost some traction. The car wasn't in his control, but he had the car in his control right after. He's still behind the wheel and he's still looking as strong as he was. Well, he hasn't disappointed himself at all.
And Santosh Rajkumar just took a bit of a gravel there, and that will have affected his exit out of the corner, and that will have given Ayush Dua some advantage. But I think Ayush Dua's tires are a little bit cooked right now. They are a little bit overheated because of that moment, but let's see whether he can gain that advantage, whether he can carry that much speed. And it looks like he has done that. And he breaks for the final bus stop chicane. They both take the corner. And let's see who is coming first on this final drag race. And Ayush Dua and Santosh Rajkumar are going side by side for the Lastos hairpin turn, which is the turn one of this lap. And Ayush Dua takes the lead, and through he goes. Ayush Dua comfortably takes the lead as he had a lot of speed, as he could carry a lot of speed through that corner, and he's up 4 tenths from Santosh Rajkumar.
That was absolute class driving by Ashraf Dua, by Edua, and followed by S. Rajkumar. S. Rajkumar is not going to give up anytime soon. He's going to be coming for right Ayush Dua. He's just behind him. Any opportunity that he gets, he's probably just going to take it. And we have another battle going on between the fifth, fourth, and fifth position with N. Basu just 0.5 seconds behind Vichada. And the gap is just closing. And we are back on to watching the race between Ayush Dua and S. Santosh Rajkumar.
Yeah, while in the junior category, the battle was mainly between the P1, P2, P3. Others were also fighting, but in the open category, there's battles going on everywhere, as you can see, between P4 and P5, between P9 and P10. But P1 has just taken off. He's driving in a different league. But as we jump on board with Neil Basu, who's in P5 and who has one Chadda very much in his sights.
One Shadda and Basu are just pushing the car. Neil is looking stronger than ever. He might just be looking for an opportunity to overtake. I think he's done being behind Ayush V Chadda. and going through the lines. Both are following all the lines that they can. They're using the whole track. They both look in form, and in this corner might just be a game changer because it's very important to take the speed that is coming ahead. And now the hairpin corner. Well, they both are in side by side, but they're right next to each other. And let's just see who trusts their car more. And there looks like Vansh Chadha has braked after Neil Basu.
You are absolutely right. And you know what, Divij? I might have to switch from watching F1, which has become kind of boring nowadays because of batteries and one team dominating, one team developing the car. But GT3 racing, watching GT3 racing on a Sunday afternoon, but I'll have to interrupt myself because Neil Basu is having none of it. He's having none of it, and he goes up in P4 and overtakes once for now, but they are side by side. And once
Oh,
Chadha
that's
misses his breaking point, and once Chadha did not had the judgment to break a little bit earlier, but that's fine because he's still in the fight. But Neil Basu kept his head down, kept his cool, and that's what it's all about. He was just pressurizing once to make some mistake, and he gains that advantage.
That's top class mental dominance right there. And it's pretty common when you're really following someone and you've gotten just behind them. You're giving your everything to overtake that person, and right when you do it, it's just chemicals releasing in your brain, and you make that mistake, giving the other person the edge.
Absolutely right. But as I was here, it is W Singh having the whole track clean air in front of him, no one behind him, just having a nice Sunday afternoon.
No, no, he's probably just behind a few drinks now. And yeah, I mean, he looks pretty sorted out. He's very calm. And well, 8 seconds in front of the person that he's being followed by. And that's a lot. He doesn't look like any of his hurry. He just looks like any other casual Sunday afternoon.
Yes, W Singh, you are in a league of your own, and if you get time, please. And he takes the checkered flag in P1, and which was a little bit expected. But in P2 is Manupuri, followed by Arnav Awasthi in P3, followed by Neil Basu, who was in a beautiful battle in P4. And then in P5, we have Vansh Chadda, and they both were battling like anything. In P6, we have Ashutosh. In P7, Navneet Kumar taking the checkered flag. Safwan Ashfaq unfortunately had a crash at the start. He drops below in P8. We have Ayush Dua in P9. We have Santosh Rajkumar in P10, Tanish Swami in P11. Uh, we have Hara Tejas Kantraj in P12, taking the checkered flag right now. We have K. Sebastian, Karan Sebastian, disqualified or did not finish, and of course Gotham, who had that massive crash.
I mean,
But
just look at the difference between the first position and the 12th position,
I
the
mean,
time gap between them. It's absolutely incredible to see what a performative individual Lovely Singh is.
yes, a lot can be said about his driving, about his qualifying pace, about his race pace, and that just reflects in the final timings. So, with that, we come to a conclusion of the open sprint race at Spa with Davli Singh taking P1, Manupuri in P2, and Arnav Avasti in P3 as it is in the championship table. They all three are in the same position for now, followed by Neil Basu, Vansh Chadda, and the list goes on your screen. But what a beautiful race and so much of battles. And I've got to say, if you compare it to the junior category, these people knew what they were doing. Not that the junior category racing drivers did not know, but these people were taking a lot less risks. We saw lot lesser crashes.
Well, I think I'll interrupt you here. It wasn't just risk; they were calculated risk. That's what they were doing, and that's the maturity that these guys have shown. And starting from the first corner itself, and there were proper races, proper battles that we have seen. And this might be the last of the sprint races today, but this is definitely not the last race. We have got an even interesting race coming up, which is the endurance race. And we both know from this junior category, the endurance race was just something else. One of the finest races that we both have ever seen. And if you haven't seen it, you should also go to Virtual Racing Hub's YouTube page and see the highlights.
You're absolutely right. But before you watch the highlights, I think you should all take a break of 15 minutes, because coming up we have the endurance race of the open category. And if the sprint race wasn't enough, the endurance race is going to be a lot more. See you at 6 p.m. for the endurance race. Thank you so much.